Hello, good to have you join us on Nationwide on Africa's largest television network. I'm Ian Ray John. Nigeria and Canada has resolved to explore and exploit the abundant opportunities that exist between the two countries towards deepening and enhancing their highly beneficial relations in critical economic sectors. This formed the highlights of the high-level talks between President Muhammadu Buhari and the Governor-General of Canada, Julie Peart. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the Canadian Governor-General is being accompanied on the visit by senior government officials, members of the business community who met President Buhari and his delegation comprising ministers behind closed doors. Their discussions centers on areas of common interest, including education, innovation, trade, culture, sports, and security.
Many opportunities exist for deeper cooperation. There is, as you mentioned to me in our conversation, there is a lot of room for growth for the bilateral relation between Nigeria and Canada. Fortunately, we've already have a strong base and we will continue to build on this. Nigeria is Canada's largest trading partner in sub-Saharan Africa. And as well, Nigeria is the largest investor from Africa in Canada. The number of Canadian companies doing business here have grown significantly in recent years, and we really hope that this delegation will foster even more trading and commerce between our two countries. Clearly, security and stability in Nigeria are vital for this entire region, and Canada is committed to cooperate and work together with Nigeria on this front as well.
The Canadian Governor-General there. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, has advised chairmen of governing boards and chief executives of parastatals to work in harmony and within the laws in their operations for the good of the nation or face sanctions. This was at the induction program for governing boards members of parastatals in Abuja. Ahmed Ondas Ahmed now reports.
This applause by chief executives and members of board of government agencies and parastatals is in acknowledgement of the point made by the SGF that managements and board must work in harmony for government to deliver to the people. This induction for chief executives and board members of government agencies and parastatals is coming on the heels of the frictions between the two in some agencies, which slows down delivery of government services. SGF Boss Mustafa reminded all the privilege of being appointed by the president is a call to service, not unproductive struggle for power outside the provisions of the law.
Let me reiterate that membership of boards are part-time and considered a service to the nation. It is also important to state that such service is a privilege. We should therefore desist from actions and utterances that continue to ridicule the government. Categorically, let me state this. Governing boards do not have the powers to suspend or remove a chief executive appointed by the president without recourse to due process. You might, however, articulate infractions, investigate wrongdoings, and make your recommendations to government through the supervisory ministries.
The participants agreed that the Riot Act is necessary to foster unity for the good of agencies under their watch.
Turn them on their roles, responsibilities, functions, and most importantly, their limitations.
It's very important for a cordial relationship between the boards and the management of the different agencies.
It's meant to deepen the continuous government effort for good public service delivery.
Each and every one of us here is here to learn and to get more information regarding to the responsibilities upon us in discharging our duties.
Similar inductions will be conducted for other agencies. Ahmed Ondas Ahmed, NTA News.
Moving on, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has given reasons for the continued delay in the conduct of by-election into the Rivers State House of Assembly. Mia Ogide reports on this and the position of INEC on the Supreme Court ruling on the APC primaries in Rivers State.
The 18 wards that make up the Rivers State Constituency 3 were like battlefields on the 19th of August 2018 when INEC attempted to conduct the by-election into the Rivers State Constituency 3, a situation that compelled INEC to draw inspiration from Section 26 of the Electoral Act 2010 as amended. Therefore, the by-election was suspended due to widespread violence. 3 months after, INEC announced by-election into 2 federal constituencies and 1 state assembly to be conducted latest before 17th of November 2018. But the Rivers State Constituency 3 was not among, and INEC has its reasons.
What we are going to do in Rivers, similar to what we have done in Rivers before, is to engage with the stakeholders before we fix a date to conduct the elections in Port Harcourt 3. I want to assure you that no constituency in Nigeria will be left unrepresented. But we need to address the issues that led to the Commission invoking its powers under Section 26 of the Electoral Act to suspend the election in Port Harcourt 3 state constituency.
Still on Rivers State, the Supreme Court recently nullified the APC Congress in Rivers State, and this has raised questions on the eligibility or otherwise of candidates from the state on the 2019 elections.
We are waiting to be served the full text of the judgment so that we can study the details and know what appropriate action we need to take.
However, the submission of list of governorship and state houses of assembly candidates is ongoing. Mia Ogide, NTA News.
And staying with election matters, as the 2019 electioneering period gathers momentum, the place of the electorate have dominated discussions among political analysts. On Good Morning Nigeria this Monday, guests predicted 2 scenarios: a people-driven 2019 elections and an electioneering period that will be personality and issues-based. Patricia Esami Luba reports.
The guest suggests that manifestos in politics should be a major concern, and the political parties should target the solutions of the problem affecting the various states and communities with a set agenda for the people's aspiration.
That it is important for people to coordinate themselves, to come together so that they can articulate and aggregate what their aspirations are and push across to the aspiring political authority so that in the event that we give you our votes, these are our expectations.
If we see those things that mitigate the ability of our people to live well, we have responsibility to ferociously engage it and see how we... When we want to talk, all that I've been bothered about is how do you strengthen citizens' capacity to resist? Because ultimately, it has to be about their well-being.
Whatever you want to do and whatever you really want to do for the people, make sure that you give them the right thing that you're supposed to. But it will not start with the candidates, because the candidates are always after their own.
Other observations were the issues of community organization in terms of conversing with the political parties. This, they say, should be based on trust and be sure they are licensed to do so.
Will the party go recruit him as a candidate to appeal to his immediate constituency, and so on and so on? So a lot of issues form a web. I hope we'll be able to tease them strand by strand, and as we develop, so long as we invest enough patience, we'll crawl away from our current position that may not be altogether excellent into a position where most of us will be comfortable with over time.
They unanimously submitted that political contractors should have to be retired so as to reduce political corruption. Then allow civil society members serve as intermediaries between the people and the political parties. In Abuja, Patricia Esami Luba, NTA News.
And in Adamawa State, a political squad to ensure the success of President Buhari and Governor Bindo, as well as other APC candidates at the 2019 general elections, has been inaugurated. Tafawa Hamza Mayo has more on the report.
Operation Deliver Your Unit to Buhari, Bindo and all APC candidates is the name given to the squad, with a mandate to converse for support and votes for President Muhammadu Buhari and Governor Bindo. The Director General of the organization, Abubakar, said APC government at all levels have done well for the state, hence the decision to come together and work for the return of the government. Other speakers on the occasion said APC has all its stake to win election in the state and appreciated President Muhammadu Buhari and Governor Bindo for providing dividends of democracy to the citizens.
It shows to the world that Bindo is a popular candidate, Mr. Muhammadu Buhari is a popular candidate. And the things they've done on ground for the people of Adama, actually, we don't even need to tell the people of Adama.
Muhammadu Buhari has awarded the contract of Mahabalo Jadarot up to Ganye to Tongo. If you have somebody that can do that, then definitely there is no need for you contemplating who to vote. And that's why people Adama said they will all resolve. We are going to give our vote to Muhammadu Buhari to make sure that he come back to continue to do what he's doing in the country.
Members of the squad were later issued with certificate, given a go-ahead to go back to their local government areas to start working without further delay in Yola. Tafawa Hamza Mayo, NTA News.
And from Adamawa, we move to Akwa Ibom, where another member of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, Mr. Victor Udofia, has defected from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress. He said the defection is in furtherance of his support for President Muhammadu Buhari, who is unrelenting in his efforts to transform Nigeria. Imo Etimuda completes the story.
Coming barely 2 weeks after his colleague in the state legislature left the PDP to join the APC, the member representing Ikono State constituency in the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, Victor Udofia, and his supporters also left PDP for APC. According to him, APC will win Akwa Ibom State and the presidency in the 2019 general election.
Buhari is not corrupt, and the only way this nation can go forward is the only way you put a leader that is not corrupt. President Muhammadu Buhari is not corrupt, and that is the only man that can bring sanity into this country.
Senator Godswill Akpabio and the APC governorship candidate in Akwa Ibom State, Abong Sima Ekere, who were represented at the event, said the latest defection by the two-term lawmaker confirms APC's victory in 2019.
The decision that you have taken to join APC is the right decision.
What you have seen today is a dream come true.
The defectors were formally received by the APC family. In Ikonologu government area, Akwa Ibom State, Imo Etimudo, NTA News.
Many thanks, Amo. And now heading straight to the court, more than 11,000 cases have been disposed of by the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory in the last 12 months. This makes it the third highest case load by any state judiciary in the country. Chief Judge of the FCT High Court, Justice Ishaq Bello, disclosed this at the commencement of the 2018-2019 new legal year of the Federal Capital Territory. Femi Okiowo reports.
Also disposed are 10,400 additional cases by the magistrate courts of the FCT, while 236 cases were disposed of by the customary court of appeal and 136 by the Sharia Court of Appeal. But in spite of these cases disposed, about 30,000 other cases are still pending, cumulatively at the various levels of courts in the Federal Capital Territory Judiciary. This therefore made the Chief Judge of the FCT, Justice Ishaq Bello, while opening the 2018-2019 new legal year, to call for more cooperation by all parties that use the courts to work towards a smoother and faster dispensation of justice.
I'm happy to note as well that in addition to the above, the quality of judgments delivered has improved. We are working also with some of our partners on court observation projects, and I hope to share some of their findings with you in this coming year.
Dr. Alex Izinho, who spoke on behalf of senior members of the bar, highlighted key areas that should be focused on in an effort to make the incoming legal year better than the previous.
Members of the inner and outer bar must assist in the administration of justice and not become a clog in the way in any respect of manner.
The new legal year of the Federal Capital Territory came with the normal ceremonial tradition as a way of celebrating the successes of the past year and preparing for the incoming one. In Abuja, Femi Okiowo, NTA News.
It's still nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Now time to join Elizabeth in Lagos for an update on destination tourism in Lagos and other stories trending in that zone. Hello, Elizabeth.
Good to see you, Ian Ray, and welcome to Lagos. Former Director General, Nigeria Tourism Development Corporation, Omotayo Omotosho, is advocating a national calendar for culture and tourism to grow the sector. This was at the second edition of the Destination Tourism Nights 2018 held in Lagos. Mohammed Abdulkadir reports that the event showcased the rich Nigerian culture.
The gathering of who is who in this hall speaks volume of how well Nigerians are passionate about taking the nation's culture and tourism to the next level.
The private sector is the engine for tourism development in the global market to get culture and tourism at the front burner again.
They are representatives of 30 corporate organizations, 11 exhibitors, and 23 media partners, including the Nigerian Television Authority, that identified with the Destination Tourism Night alongside tour operators and artists.
What we know is that there is no tourism without aviation, and of course there is no aviation without tourism.
Abuja as an area of shopping malls and cultural agates and still has room for more because of its growing profile.
And Travelog is all about a media organization promoting travel and tourism in Nigeria and beyond.
Towards a greater Nigeria, Travelog Awards went to key players in the educational, musical, infrastructural, and hospitality tourism ambassadors. A flagship of cultural tourism destination featured exhibition, fashion parade, comedy, and African drum goddess that thrilled the audience. Guests couldn't have asked for more as the ceremony unveiled tourism delights in diversity for which Nigeria has become the envy of the global community. Destination Tourism Nights challenged Nigerians individually and collectively to support the development of culture and tourism sector in Nigeria and not necessarily leaving it for the government alone. In Lagos, Muhammad Abdelkadir, NTA News.
The need for Nigerians to support and protect the blind and visually impaired in the society has again been re-echoed. This was the message of the blind at a forum put together by the Federal Nigeria Society for the Blind to commemorate the White Cane Safety Day in Lagos.
Of the White Cane Safety Day is to promote awareness on the independence and contributions of the visually impaired to national developments. This is Miriam, and like many others, she was not born blind, but 2 years ago she lost her sight.
I was in my second year in Gombe State University. I lost my sight due to meningitis.
Commemorating the White Cane Safety Day has no doubt rekindled the hope for the visually impaired in achieving their goals, as well as keeping them safe while navigating the environment. As part of the celebration this year, the Federal Nigeria Society for the Blind decided to enlighten drivers and commuters at Ojuelegba Garage on the need to support the visually impaired as they move from one part of the metropolis to the other. Speakers at the forum used the opportunity to call on concerned citizens not to treat the blind as objects of ridicule, but work towards an effective framework to protect their rights.
When you see a blind person with their white cane, help them. They can move around, they can sense where they are, they can sense heights and everything.
These are the days when blind people don't beg, they work. They do everything we can do. They're able.
We want an act for disability at the federal level so that all other states can, get buy-in. But even just beyond laws, we want to conscientize people.
And who says there is no ability in disability?
All these faces would know who I am, 'cause I'll be a superstar.
The celebration also afforded residents of Surulere the opportunity to undergo free eye screening.
Time now to join Sadia Umar Digi in our Sokoto Network Center for more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Sadia.
Good evening and welcome to Sokoto. 6 lives, including a police officer, have been lost and property worth millions of naira destroyed following fresh attack by armed bandits in Grubin Bore community in Zurubi local government area of Zamfara State. Jamilu Ibrahim has the story.
Armed bandits in their large number attacked the community on Friday this week at about 9:30 in the evening, shooting sporadically and setting ablaze building and some other valuables.
We lost 6 lives. One of the lives was a policeman that was shot down in a police station that was burnt down, and the other 5 are civilians. Also, we have 4 casualties currently receiving treatment.
A total of 10 shops, 13 cars and 5 motorcycles were also lost to the incident.
This is the Nigerian police force outpost in the area. One of the buildings and other valuables set ablaze by the bandits.
A delegation led by Secretary to the Zamfara State Government, Professor Abdullahi Shinkafi, visited the area to condole with members of the community and reassure them of the government effort towards ending the activities of armed bandits in the area.
We made a swift reaction in the sense that we contacted security agencies who also responded, very quickly, and that was really what halted the escalation.
We are doing everything humanly possible to see that the perpetrators of this act, the perpetrators are brought to justice, they are fished out and brought to justice. And we are planning also to see that there is no any further reoccurrence of such an incident in the state.
In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
As political activities gather momentum in Nigeria, Islamic scholars have been tasked to preach peace, unity, and shun division among Nigeria. Sokoto State Deputy Governor Ahmad Aliyu said this at the commemoration of the birthday of Sheikh Usman Danfodio. Muhammad Nasir reports.
The contributions of great Islamic reformer Sheikh Usman Danfodio have continued to be felt by Muslims community in Nigeria and beyond. Apart from reforming Islam, Sheikh Usman Danfodio and his disciples left literary works on various fields that are currently being used for different purposes. This is the 10th commemoration of the birthday of Sheikh Usman Danfodio, organized by followers of Qadriya sect in Sokoto. Sokoto State Deputy Governor Ahmad Aliyu Sokoto, while acknowledging the giant stride by Sheikh Usman Danfodio, call on Muslims to love one another and live peacefully, saying no development can be achieved in any society without peaceful coexistence. Alhaji Ahmad Aliyu stressed the need for Islamic scholars to concentrate on teaching Muslims their religious obligations such as prayers, fasting, purity, among others.
Call on our scholars, that is Islamic scholars and ulama, to continue preaching for peace and the free for the smooth conduct of 2019 general election.
Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar, represented by Abondo Mangadi Bello Abubakar, spoke on the legacies bequeathed by jihad leaders and stressed the need for Muslims to appreciate and make good use of them. Leader of Qadriya sect in Sokoto, Maulana Sambo Ibrahim Gesel Madi, described last Sunday of Safar Islamic calendar as happiest day, being the birthday of Sheikh Usman Danfodio. In Sokoto, Muhammad Nasir, NTA News.
It's now time to take a commercial break. The news continues shortly.
Speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
On Tuesday Live this week, our focus is on the social intervention program of the federal government. Special advisor to the president on social intervention, Haja Mariam Uwais, will join other guests to discuss the impact of this program on the downtrodden. Tuesday Live at 10:30 p.m. every Tuesday promises to be incisive and educative. Don't miss it.
NTA Television College, Jos, an affiliate of Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, is organizing a 2-week course in archival management system of broadcast media. Date 5th to 16th November 2018. Venue NTA Television College, Rayfield, Jos. Course fee 100,000 naira per participant, accommodation inclusive. The course will equip participants with the techniques of automating recordings, cataloging, and analyzing media for storage and productions. Come and take advantage of this course to sharpen your skills in maintaining, conserving, and utilizing the archival system. For more information, please contact us on the following numbers: 0806 980 9807, 0803 314 4383. TV College Jos, training you to be the best you want to be.
But I not get something when they go give you unless thank you. I did get change to make farm. Then he helped me house. The house when I did before, he dey link. Before I born 5 pikin. You know, I not get food when I go give them. That's why I share them. But now my pikin they near me. Someday with me now. No be like before. I happy. I thank you. I no see her, but God go carry my kilometer where I dey.
Glad to have you back. To address the shortfalls experienced by government at all levels in its efforts to maximize tax administration in the country, a one-day seminar on the application of innovative models for more effective tax systems is holding in Abuja, Nigeria. And we have our correspondent, Chimobi Walter Nadi on ground. Walter, what are the expectations from the seminar?
All right, thank you very much, Studio. It's really a good thing to note that local industries in Nigeria are now focusing attention in finding IT solutions to tax system and internally generated revenue in Nigeria, especially bearing in mind the large informal sector that we have in the country. And of course, I have with me here the representatives of the Nigeria Governors Forum Secretariat, Alhaji Ahmed Abdul Wahab. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
All right, so one of the major problems that we're having in Nigeria, first of all, is the issue of data collection. How does this affect tax generation in the country?
On the informal sector, you don't have data. So if you don't have data, there's no way you'll be able to actually know who is supposed to pay or who is paying, which is the challenge that hopefully this technology company is trying to help us address.
And when you talk of data, we are talking about the information of these taxpayers we are referring to. So based on the development of this application and the solution we are providing, we've made it in such a way that every taxpayer is going to be enumerated, just like I mentioned.
Seated here in this hall are participants from state revenue officers. Issues bordering on tax compliance, multiple or double taxation, and harmonization of tax laws using new cutting-edge models have jeopardized the efforts of governments to provide infrastructure and social amenities using tax proceeds.
Now, coming to your question, it is expected that at the end of this meeting, both state and federal government revenue services will come to use this new IT technology in tax generation and, of course, in achieving some of the benefits that comes with it. I'm Chimobi Walter Naji. It's back to you in the studios.
Many thanks, Chimobi. Moving on, the federal government is set to deliver affordable housing in Nasarawa State with the prospects of ownership without financial stress to occupants. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports on the project.
The sustained commitment of the federal government in the delivery of critical housing infrastructure across the country is yielding positive results in Nasarawa State, with about 100 housing units at different stages of completion at Akruba area and the outskirts of Lafia, the city center. Akruba Housing Unit is a contract awarded in 2016 and gradually coming to fruition in line with federal government policy of achieving mass housing development across the country. The infrastructure is security for the future, as findings reveal occupants will possess rights to acquire full ownership of the asset when delivered.
Most of the houses are completed. The remaining one are the value of stage of completions.
People are coming from outside other state to come here to establish their home here because of this development, because of the housing estate. So we are very happy with the Buhari administration.
The houses in 3, 2 and 1 bedrooms have reached appreciable level of completion with the complement of water, electricity and road projects. One of the contractors expresses optimism in meeting the deadline.
We had some little itches because of the rainy season, but we have embarked seriously. We are firing from all cylinders to make sure we achieve the best.
In another axis of Lafia, a total of 100 houses are also coming into reality. It is driven by tripartite arrangement and the federal government is supporting the initiative.
The level of the work is almost getting to 40% of the total project.
The gains of democracy is gradually rekindling the hope of Nigerians towards a better welfare condition for all strata in the country under President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration. In Lafia, I am Habubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
And in Abuja, Minister of State for Mines and Steel Development, Abubakar Buhari, and the Governor of Taraba State, Darius Dixon Ishaku, are appealing to relevant authorities to ensure the full implementation of the Abuja Master Plan to avoid environmental challenges and overcongestion. They made the appeal after their investiture as fellows of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners in Abuja.
For example, like in Abuja, which I handled the phase 3, there are a lot of areas. I've planned four lakes in Abuja in addition to Jabi Lake, which has not been implemented up to date. And I'm feeling so bad about that because without you implementing these 4 lakes in Abuja, sooner or later, you will deplete the water in Usman Dam, which supplies the drinkable water to Abuja town itself. And those 4 lakes are there to be as a backup to Usman Dam.
Well, Abuja has become a town planner's nightmare, and we are trying our best to ensure that we adhere strictly to the master plan. A lot has happened, political decisions that have affected the execution of the master plan. Right now, you can see that a lot is doing in Abuja, and a lot of the mistakes that have been made have been corrected. And the town planners have been playing a great role in ensuring that those encroachments and abuse master plans are addressed.
And now we move to Niger State, where the World Bank has earmarked $2 million to address erosion challenges. The National Project Coordinator of the Nigeria Erosion and Watershed Management Project, Salihu Dahiru, disclosed this during a visit to Niger State Governor Abubakar Sani Bello at the Government House, Mina. Dauda Mohammed reports.
One of the consequences of this year's heavy downpour experienced across the country is the creation of gullies and other forms of land degradation, especially in Niger State. The World Bank, in collaboration with the federal government, through partnership with 19 other states, have come up with a program to address erosion challenges across the country. State governments are expected to put up funds as a show of commitment, while the World Bank will augment the amount to tackle the challenge. 10 erosion sites needing immediate attention have been identified and surveyed by a team of consultants from the World Bank, which has already earmarked $2 million, to which the Niger State government has also dedicated 300 million naira.
On our part, we will do whatever we have to work with you.
He has also given approval for the official launching of the project and giving us marching order that activities must take place immediately.
Engineering designs are expected to be finalized for the construction to start, which will last during the duration of the 5 dry months. Sites identified for intervention are located in Mashegu, Kwantogora, Bidda, Rafi, Mokwa, Munya, Chanchaga, and Rijau local government areas. In Mina, Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
And now looking at issues affecting the girl child, wife of Bauchi State Governor Aisha Muhammad Abubakar has followed suit in commemorating this year's International Day of the Girl Child, held at Government Girls Secondary School, Azari. The day was marked with donation of items that can help the girl child focus on her studies. Abbas Meikano reports.
There are over 13.5 million out-of-school children in the world, with girl child constituting more than half of this number. As the commemoration of this year's International Day of Girl Child continues at various levels since the 11th of this month, wife of the Bauchi State Governor Hajia Aisha M.A. Abubakar organized an event at the Government Girls Secondary School Azari to further demonstrate the significance of the day. She donated cartons of bathing and washing soap, detergents, toilet paper, sanitary pads, and 55 inches plasma TV, among others, to 4 government girls' secondary schools in the state. They are GGS Sakwa, Yana, Azari, and Bauchi, to encourage the girls to study as well as support them to access information on health, hygiene, sanitation, and reproductive health.
We need to ensure the safety and security of our girls. So let's say no to sexual violence, let's say no to emotional and physical violence, let's say no to child labor and trafficking, stop trading girls like commodity.
Speakers at the ceremony, that includes representative of the Emir of Katagum Alhaji Kabir Umar, Professor Fatima Tahir, Chairman State Universal Basic Education Board, Professor Yahya Ibrahim Yeru, and 2 Kannywood actresses, Hafsat Idris and Hawa Waraka, took turns talking to the girls on the need for them to focus on their studies, remain in school, and transit to higher institutions for the socio-economic and political development of their community and the nation. In Bauchi, Abbas Mekano, NTA News.
And from Bauchi, we move to Port Harcourt as we hear that POA donates relief materials to flood IDPs in Rivers. Mina is our guide. We do sincerely apologize for the lack of signals. As soon as we get signals from Port Harcourt, we shall rejoin that zone. Moving on. It was an intense and submissive session at the Holy Order of the Cherubim and Seraphim movement as it marked its 69th adoption Thanksgiving with special prayers for Nigeria. Ifeanyi Ezumba reports.
These worshippers at the Cherubim and Seraphim Church, Abuja, have every reason to praise the Lord. It is the church's 69th adoption Thanksgiving of the Holy Order, and the faithful here at its national headquarters in Abuja are marking it in time with the theme, Righteousness, the Identity of Adoption. The ceremony has gone back to his Father in heaven.
His followers, the disciples, were living Christ-like lives. They were doing those things Christ was doing the day was the day.
Encourage all Christians, particularly, to live a life, a Christ-like life, and then for all Nigerians to be hopeful and to have faith in this country and in God, that all will be well.
To serve God, keep His commandments, so that He will ever adopt us into His family.
The central message of being morally correct and justifiable is not lost on the congregation, as the text from the book of Romans, emphasizing the principles of adoption which make the faithful joint heirs with Christ, was drummed. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Ezumba, NT News.
Port Harcourt is ready now. Let's now join Mina. Hello.
Hello, Enrique. Good afternoon and welcome to Port Harcourt. Wife of the Inspector General of Police and National President of the Police Officers' Wives Association, POA, Asta Ibrahim Idris, has donated relief materials to some IDP camps in Eugene axis of the Abuja West local government area of Rivers State. Robinson today reports that the gesture is intended to provide succor to the victims of flood disaster in the area.
The Engene axis of the Abuja West local government area of Rivers State is one of the most affected areas of the flood, in which virtually all the people from Akenema and JK 1 to 4 communities have been displaced. The national president of POA, in company of other officers' wives, donated pieces of foams and pillows, washing soaps and detergents, plastic buckets, as well as cartons of Vaselines to the IDP camps.
While we commiserate with you, we also encourage you not to lose hope, and I assure you that God has not abandoned you.
The people expressed their gratitude with the presentation of a bag of gari, noting that they have not received any support to this magnitude since they were displaced.
She has released to engage the people. Let God bless her.
Suffer where we suffer. All our food don't last finish. If our house don't fall finish, like and well, we bless them, make them share for us.
POA president was later hosted by the River State Command of the Nigerian Police, where the Commissioner Zaki Ahmed and his wife Bilikisu commended her leadership contributions.
She is a caring mother. Yes. She is so compassionate and caring. It has never happened in the history of Nigerian police.
POA had earlier made same gesture to Edo State and the IDP camps in the northeast. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Deratede, NTA News.
The federal government, in collaboration with Akwa Ibom State Government and the World Bank, has so far spent 676.8 million naira to touch the lives of the poor and vulnerable in the state. Clement Barikui reports that the sum covers 166 micro-projects in 22 communities under the Community and Social Development Program, CSDP.
The Community and Social Development Program, an initiative of the federal government of Nigeria with support from the World Bank and participating states, is one project that gives voice to the people, increases the income of the rural poor, and ensures the provision of critical services at the grassroots. In Akwa Ibom State, CSDP additional financing has improved healthcare services in 11 health centers, open market stalls in 29 communities, while 22 others now have access to electricity, among other projects.
The federal government has been so magnanimous. Amiable Governor, Mr. Dum Gabriel Emmanuel, graciously fulfill all the requirements that was needed by the World Bank.
This skills training on effective project implementation for Community Project Management Committee members and other relevant stakeholders was to reappraise performances of benefiting communities.
CSDP has really impacted positively on our community.
The strategy for this program is community-driven.
The program targets 89 communities and 235 rural projects in Akwa Ibom State by 2020. In Uyo, Clement Barikui, NTA News.
The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, has nabbed 35 crude oil thieves and various vessels containing suspected petroleum products in Rivers State. Rivers State Commandant of the Corps, Mohammed Haruna, said the suspects will be treated according to the law. Robinson today has the details.
Out of the 35 suspected crude oil thieves, 15 were handed over to the NSCDC by the Navy and 4 by the Joint Task Force JTF. 10 trucks, 3 buses, 2 cars and 2 batches containing suspected adulterated AGO were also intercepted by the Corps at different locations in Rivers State within the last 1 month.
Some of these 35, we've sent them to court already. We can say that, yes, they are not relenting, but we are not relenting as well. We'll make sure we bring all of them to book. We'll send them to court. As long as they continue to come, we'll continue to arrest them and send them to court.
The commandant further disclosed that the command's Peace and Conflict Resolution Unit has successfully resolved 46 out of 68 land conflicts and communal-related clashes in their areas of operation. The command is advising companies and corporate organizations to disengage unregistered private guards and security personnel to avoid unpleasant circumstances. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Delatede, NTA News.
That's our beat from here. Nationwide continues in Jos with Ruth as our guide. Hello, Ruth.
East Plateau State, Austin Abonlaho, says there is no more space for criminals in the state. He made this known during his maiden press briefing at the police headquarters in Jos and parade of suspects in connection with various crimes. Ashazi Gopep reports.
The suspects were arrested for car theft, snatching of tricycle, criminal conspiracy, armed robbery, culpable homicide, as well as rape, and had in their possessions key of different vehicles, sharp cutlasses, knives, locally made revolver guns, cartridges, live ammunitions, handsets, and charms.
The two of them were arrested with a Lexus Jeep, registration number KW168MB, which they stole from a car stand in Jabi, Abuja. He brought it to town with the aim of getting a buyer.
While commending members of the public, officers and men of the police for the successes recorded so far, the police commissioner said the command is repositioning its strategies, including personnel in widening its reach.
They are already in our custody and they are helping the investigation.
I helped one of my friends to bring his girlfriend to my room, and suddenly we are not around, and when we came back, we now found the body of a lady lying down in our room. That's why we were arrested.
The police, he added, has begun consultations with relevant stakeholders in the state in a bid to strengthen its capacity and to discharge its responsibilities, and called on citizens to always be watchful and report any suspicious movement within their environment. The suspects are now helping the police with useful information and will soon be charged to court. In Jos, Ashesi Gopep, NTA News.
As part of ongoing efforts to restoring lasting peace in communities of Plateau State, the commander, Operation Safe Haven, Major General Augustine Agundu, has met with leaders of some communities in Jos North local government area. Felicia Daliop Samaila reports that the meeting is to broker peace and chart the way forward.
The commander, Operation Safe Haven, identified youth involvement in drugs as one of the problems facing Plateau State, which he said is impacting negatively on the youths. He called on parents to monitor their children and youth leaders to be up and doing so that they can be useful future leaders.
Since we all agreed to be here and in one consciousness, to search for the same thing that all of us are here for, I want us to turn a new leaf.
Some of the community, religious, and youth leaders appreciated the OPSH commander for organizing the stakeholders meeting, promising that they will work to achieve lasting peace in the state. They also agreed to join hands to fight the sale of illicit drugs and consumption in the areas. In Jos, Felicia Daliop Samaila, NTA News.
Beneficiaries of the National Social Investment Program have been advised to use the social media to build their socio-economic profile. This was at the first phase of digital skills training for over 200 youths, organized by the Plateau State Office of the Social Investment Program in collaboration with a digital training outfit, Mind the Gap. Priscilla Grumnan reports.
Research indicates that social media advertising is among the most effective and profitable forms of digital advertising if properly utilized. It is based on this that these 200 participants under the State Social Investment Program are undergoing this training on ways best to utilize the advantages that abound in the social media space.
We can buy things digitally,
We can sell things digitally. We can view things digitally. The first thing that must be done is that people should be able to find you online.
State focal person of SIP, Dr. Sumaye Hamza, called on participants to exhibit high sense of commitment in understanding digital technology, which is a pathway to their business sustainability.
The essence of this training is to open other windows of opportunities for you, so that you understand how you can be self-reliant, how you can help yourself, how you can establish a space for your businesses, and how you can also create an effective network that will add value to your life.
The National Social Investment Program is an initiative of the federal government with 4 components aimed at empowering the unemployed in Nigeria. In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Jos Nationwide continues after this commercial break. Stay tuned.
You see, let that come out and tell me one person in APC who has been found wanting, and because he's an APC chieftain, he has been asked to go home and sin no more. Just one example.
Wednesday, 31st October, 1:30 p.m. 1-on-1.
Fake news which is shared for malicious purposes is a danger to our peace and security in Nigeria. Misinformation as fake news is a serious threat to our hard-earned democracy and promotes hatred and misunderstanding between our communities. We are all responsible for stopping the spread of fake news in its tracks. So, always check the source and credibility of any news item. Say no to fake news. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
EA Nigeria, a citizen participatory program, will soon be on your screen. It will transmit Mondays to Thursdays by 6 p.m. on NTA Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba channels, and NTA Entertainment, all on NTA Star TV network. EA Nigeria seeks to promote the appreciation of our indigenous languages, citizen civic responsibility, nationalism, and capacity building. It also helps to address misrepresentation of our national symbols. EA Nigeria is a live phone-in TV program, so you can join in the conversation. For sponsorship and participation, please contact these numbers. EA Nigeria, promoting culture and national values.
You know that Nigeria's most authentic newscast is about to begin. NTA Network News. Breaking the news.
Thank you for staying. Now, talking sports, Abuja-based team Next Generation recovers to win NCC Tennis League group match as Leicester City's EFL match against Southampton on Tuesday postponed due to club owner's death. Amanzi Marcus tells us more.